Alright, so just quick talk here real quick. I worked in IT for 20 some years, 22 years. So that's where I kind of learned to think critically and communicate and all these other things. So it's communal logic I basically developed through that process. And I would figure things out in weird ways a lot of times, so I would always do the issues that were a little bit more weird. They seemed to find me somehow, because I use intuition to help me reverse engineer problems to solution. But I'm like a get it done type of person. Until it becomes a problem, then you got to actually figure out the source of the symptoms and execute on those. So that's how I look at life, you know. If something becomes an issue, then you have to dig into it and actually figure out how to fix what it is. Now, technology has progressively gotten worse and worse, and what I mean by that, it's become more, it's planned obsolescence. But the obsolescence isn't in the function, the obsolescence is in the autonomy, it's in the security of the product. Pretty much every new application out there right now has security backdoors baked in to the products by principle, by default. Then when an issue arises, people can claim, oh, we didn't know about it, you know, it's just a mistake. We just didn't know that there was a security flaw in this product. Microsoft was baking in backdoors to their OS back in 2009. When Windows 10 came out, right after 7. That's when the security flaws were becoming more obvious to me that they were done on purpose. And hey, if you got nothing to hide, then why worry about it? You know, you don't need. Why are you worried about biometrics, facial recognition, voice recognition? What do you got to hide? You're just some conspiracy guy, you know. People don't understand, when you give an inch, you're giving future, you're giving miles. I mean, it doesn't matter anymore because pretty much all technology, like I just put WhatsApp back on my phone, and there's a lot of security flaws in that app on purpose. It basically won't function unless you give it access to everything on your phone. You know, and that opens it up for renegade hackers, lone wolf hackers, to be paid by the highest bidder to do whatever they want to do. Essentially, they can get into your information fairly easily if they wanted. But there's a lot of people, so it's like the chances are low that you'll be singled out. But pretty much all applications, I don't care, even this Brave browser bullshit has a bunch of backdoors and it's accessing hardware in ways that it shouldn't. Now in these times, I'm a little nervous with the tech, I must say. We're moving to cryptocurrencies, the blockchain technologies are taking off. Utility tokens will be the blood that functions underneath all the CBDCs that will be running around. Or locking us down, I should say. Sure, I've invested in that. I'm not actually even sure if it's a true investment or if it was just a Trojan horse to get people that think outside the box in the box. I mean, I've already seen signs that tells me it was planned by design to not only screw everyone else over, but to even screw XRP holders and whoever holds these utility coins. You got to be smart with it. And even if you're smart with it, doesn't necessarily mean you're going to have the freedom to utilize that token. So I'm not really into IT stuff anymore or digging into all that kind of stuff. But I have to because I invested in it. But we see all the signs. Before the Wuhan thing, there was that virus test, the global pandemic test. Then the 2021, summer of 2021, there was that Polygon test where they hack the power grid of the entire world. Hackers come in, eco hackers are trying to save the earth because we're just evil people running around with gas vehicles. So, all these little things, they just tighten. There's like a million screws, and if you just tighten one little screw here and there, no one notices until it becomes a tourniquet cutting the blood off to your brain or wherever else it is. So I see all these things, a lot of lithium-ion batteries, a lot of electric car stuff. I kind of think the electric car makes us... it takes away our natural rhythm, at the very least. It inundates the system with frequencies that shouldn't be in it. We're pretty much 70-80% water, maybe more if you drink a lot. Or until you go pee, I guess. I don't know. Well, anyways, what happens when the next Carrington event hits? If you don't know what that is, look it up. How the hell is an average person going to put out a lithium-ion battery burn? That's not... You don't want these things in your house, but it's giving new life to this old conspiracy I remember hearing from Jordan Maxwell, where he said the technology in your homes is going to turn on you and it's going to start on fire. I didn't put two and two together till more recently, and I'm not sure if that's the case, but it is a possibility. If there is a major solar flare, it's going to short out all the electrical, melt all the electrical, my computer, all of our stuff. Unless you have Faraday cages, and I'm not so certain how those will hold up. So we're in this weird time. This brings me back to the Escape from LA thing. We are being controlled and essentially transformed through the technology, through the interaction, the symbiosis that we have with this tech. And now the tech is between us. We don't interact in person. We don't put a lot of value into people. We put value into data, into numbers, into statistics, into what has been deemed fact-checked for communal consumption. So to me, it goes hand in hand with the degradation of society. It's just the process of the rising and the falling, and it's time to find what is base principle in life. What is the prime necessity for an individual to thrive in life? We look at people that accumulate money, accumulate items, they accumulate status, and we say, oh, that's successful. But really, that's not successful. And we look at people that are psychotic, people who gave themselves away to the possession of a spirit which was drilled into them from a very young age, and we say, oh, those people are successful. Look at that guy's mindset. If you don't have compassion, if you don't understand that there is no one perspective that can fit in this world, and there's no golden key for everyone, essentially. If you don't understand that, then you are closed-minded. You're a closed loop. And those people aren't happy. People say, well, you don't need happiness. That's true. You don't need it all the time. You have to digest emotion. You have to live in relation to the psyche, the growing psyche. But what is fundamental to everyone? You need peace within yourself. You can't find peace in the mimicry of the shit show and all the fakeness of this world, can you? When you're at home alone, when you don't got any other eyes on you, when you realize that your phone, your computer, your nice things, they don't really give you the kind of peace that settles the soul, that's when you start to fall into the illusion of the world and look for pacification through libations of external sources, external forces. So I'm not writing the future off. I'm not writing the novel that we're falling into the technocracy, but all signs point to that. So how do you shore up your defenses? How do you create foundation for yourself that that actually functions in the here, now, and the future, the foreseeable future and the unforeseen? Ask those questions to yourself. Now we're going to have the new moon in Leo here soon. We just had the full moon in Aquarius. We're finishing the Cancer moon cycle. Very interesting. New moon in the emotions. Full moon in the mind. So that is truly the water bearer. Pouring in new insights through emotional awareness, which is rising within you. And it's not comfortable, it's not easy. But now we are coming into a refinement of the fire. So look at your chart. Do you have a lot of fire? Do you have any angles to your moon that are fire? Look at the disposition between the different elements. Fire, air, earth, water. Look at these things in relation to your life. You don't have to study all the elemental table as it is defined through alchemy, astrology, or all these spiritual practices. Just think in your life, think about how these elements work together. Think about your emotions. When you feel angry, you're in the fire mode. When you feel curious, you're in the air mode. When you feel content or like you are fulfilling something or building something, you're in the ground mode, earth mode. And when you feel like you are flowing in your emotions, or the emotions are held constricted, there's nowhere for them to go, then you're in that water mode. Or when they are going and it's feeling good and you're in the right flow, then just look at your relations. Who are the people around you? What do they bring out of you? They may be good people and they just bring the worst out of you. Really, the worst is like what we're trying to process, essentially, so they're very valuable to have around. Or who brings the best in you? Now it's this Libra South Node stuff. It's about choosing your investment. Where do you put your focus? Who enriches you? Who takes from you? Who do you enrich? Who do you take from? Are those interactions worth the time, worth the energy, worth the effort? If not, how do you reinvest in a new relationship? That is the relationship to the self changing. When you start to assess those things, then you just move forward. Everyone else's hang-ups, everyone else's expectations, they are loose markers. They're not written in stone. It's not the dictate of the father, the mother that are commanding us. We can choose. You got free will. That's what life is. It's about realizing your own patterns and releasing them through doing different things. A lot of people get hung up on, there's no free will, ultimately this, ultimately that, and they live shitty lives. They find contentment in very basic things. They don't push themselves. They don't strain. They don't grow. unless they're forced to. So I would advise not looking for the ultimate absolution and answers. Try and find the ultimate absolution through process, through what you do, and make it feel good, and then you're never wasting your time, you're never lost. You just keep learning. Alright, I guess that's my the energy I feel for the new moon in Leo. So thanks for watching, listening, and being.